And you could have joined us for our concluding spectacle, which was a game of Pass the Impossibly Large Parcel. Nothing aroused more interest and excitement than the sight of a 2-foot parcel in the large greensward. 2 metre, sorry, 2 foot. Wow. A 2-metre parcel situated in the greensward outside the National Theatre. Every layer that you tore off revealed new props and costume items with which to decorate yourself. So this very happy, really kind of had a sort of quasi-religious spectacle element to it as the kind of celebrants tore into the parcel, daubed themselves in its contents, and gradually kind of stripped it down until, you know, layer upon layer upon layer until in the middle, sadly, there was nothing. So, what kind of space is that? It's very playful. It's very open. It's a space where all are welcome and where artists and players are both encouraged to contribute freely and openly and without fear of, I can't think of the word, but it's that. Without fear of this. Censure, thank you. It's important, so the sandpit, which is the kind of feeding model for the breeding grounds for the Weekender, is an absolutely open network of artists, digital creatives, interested parties, where anybody can submit an idea for a game and where we as Hide&Seek will do our level best to support its development and curate it into one of our events. And we used to call the Hide&Seek Festival a festival, and we now call it a Weekender because one of the things that we do not have is a festival director who has an idea about what the weekend will say and tries to program and curate experiences to fit that model. So it is attempting to be a kind of ground-up process where our role as producers and curators and supporters is to mesh that into a coherent experience. There are some things that this approach leaves undone, and I think that's where you guys come in, and that's what this space for me and hopefully for you will be about. It's essential that we have open spaces where people can experiment with emerging technology, with new ways of bringing people together, with new ideas. It's also essential that we find ways of thinking critically about this kind of work and thinking beyond the physical limitations of this Weekender, both in terms of space but also in terms of time and in terms of resources. You know, this is, you know, comparatively small in comparison to some of the kind of cultural projects and products that dominate our diet. And so this space that we're creating here is a more contemplative, more critical, more freely ranging in thought and unfettered by any of those physical boundaries of needing to put on a show. You guys are here to think widely and here to think big. I think there is a set of interlocking problems which the Weekender intentionally or unintentionally represents. One of these is this problem of critical discourse and how do we think about this work? How do we make sure that we are not repeating the mistakes of our interactive forefathers? And I don't just mean the last 20 or 30 years of digital technology, but, you know, a history of Dionysian interactive public performance which stretches back to the Eleusinian mysteries and probably beyond. How do we arise out of our niche and go forth to kind of propagate this kind of work, assuming that we want to, I do. And I hope we can at least experiment with what that might mean. It seems that all interactive work sits in some kind of niche. I actually have a question about whether all culture presently is niche culture of some kind or another. But is there a possibility of a mass culture of some kind which admits some of the values and qualities of the kind of work which you guys make, which we represent, which the Hide&Seek Weekender attempts to bring forth? And what kind of institutions and what kind of means of commissioning and funding and making and curating and producing ought we to surround this work so that the small trees, the saplings, not even, we're past seeds, which is nice, but I think we can say sapling. We might even, you know, put ourselves down for the occasional laburnum, something modest. But you know, it is a jungle out there, and how do we grow so that they can really flourish? And I suppose there are many, many things that feed into that, which I don't want to say, but I hope you're going to say to us. But I think that maybe the final question is, you know, what kind of revolution might we be seeking to create? So I'm genuinely thrilled that you're all here with us. I hope that you invest this space and this opportunity with all of your brilliance and all of your ideas, and I very much look forward to hanging out with you and seeing the results as they emerge.